This is LaShawn Jenkins. Welcome to the Notary Institution. And today I wanted to actually talk about printers, about what you should look for when purchasing your first printer as a loan signing agent. And this is this is actually a huge investment in your business if you're interested into taking your loan signing business to the next level. So the first thing, I actually have a list here of things that I want to go over. So the first type of printer the first thing you need to look for in a printer is to make sure that it's a laser jet printer. And you'll also see that there's inkjet printers. And the difference between those two printers is that the laser jet printers actually, the ink actually, when it prints, it actually is imprinted inside the paper. So that means it won't smear or anything after you print it. There's no type of drying time versus with the inkjet printers. If you ever printed from an inkjet printer, you'll see that the paper may still be wet, and also it will smear if you touch it. So that's the first thing you need to look for, is to make sure that it's a laser jet. You also need to make sure that it is an all-in-one printer. So that means that it can fax. Well, you really don't need to fax, but normally if it's all-in-one, it will say fax, copy, and scan. And the next feature that you will look for is to make sure that it is an automatic feeder. So with that being said, that means that with the printing, with the scanning, that it will do it automatically without you having to lift the bed, lift the bed of the printer to make sure that you go one by one and scan the page, something like what they have in FedEx. But they have automatic ones in FedEx, but if you ever seen the ones that you have to lift up the lid and then put the piece of paper there and scan it, you need something that's automatic to where you will put all your documents in there, and when you hit scan on your computer, that everything will just start scanning automatically instead of you going page by page. And also it makes it easy for when you do your copies. You can do the same thing for that. And another thing you want to look at is how many pages per minute that the printer can print. And the only reason I actually had learned this is because I actually went to school for technology, and I had studied computers for a while because that was something else I always loved technology and learning about computers. But a lot of times you'll see when you're purchasing a printer, especially if you're, actually online and in the store, you'll see PPM. And PPM stands for pages per minute. And you want something that at least prints at least 25 pages per minute. Some of them can print up to 30 pages per minute. But the more pages it can print per minute is the more expensive it will actually cost you in the long run. But also there's a good investment, because one, you're not waiting a long time for documents to print, because your papers you're able to print at a faster rate. And the next thing you want to look for is, for the loan signings, just to get started, you don't necessarily need a printer that prints color. You can get the black and white. You can get a printer that prints black and white, also known as, you'll see it'll say monochrome on there, which also means black and white. And when I first started off, that's what I still use, is black and white, because I don't have the need to print anything color. And if I want to print color, which is very rare, such as a borrower's ID or something like that, if I need to print it, I will simply go to FedEx and just use their printing services to print color. But it's not necessarily required for the ID to be in color. As long as it's legible, as long as the person is able to see it, then they'll be fine. And also another thing to look for when purchasing the printer is also to see the cost of the toner, also known as basically like the ink. Well, it was not called ink for the laser jet, but it's similar as into ink, the toner, and see how many pages how many pages you can print off that one single toner. I will include a description of the printer that I have, and also a description of the toner that I'm using for my printer, because some toners actually can print only up to 1,000 pages. Some of them, they have it to where, so now you can buy the max one and it can print up to 6,000 pages. So that's another thing. When you're buying a printer, it's a really huge investment. It's something that you need to take your time doing and shopping for. Sometimes they have sales where you can catch these $500 printers maybe for about $3.99 or $3.50, depending on when you're shopping. And normally, sometimes you'll see that the sales are often common during the holidays. So really, right now coming up, Black Friday is coming up, during the summer when back to school, and I want to say like at the beginning of like Christmas holiday, that you'll see that these printers are on sale. And the printer is something that if you can find it cheaper, used, just make sure that you do your research on that printer before you buy it, because you do not want to take home a printer that can't do any of the capabilities that you need. Sometimes you'll see it's a printer, it prints fast, but it may not be, you may not be able to scan on it. It may not be compatible with your computer. You may not know how to use it. It may be old, it may be up to date. The toners might be not, it might be hard to find toner for your printer. So when you're going printer shopping, it's very important to make sure that you pick the right printer, because you'll save money in the long run. You don't have to worry about going back out to spend money on a new printer. And that's all I have about printers. I will include a description of the printer that I use. And if you have any questions about purchasing a printer, you're more than welcome to send us a message on Facebook, or also you can comment down below on the video. Y'all have a great day. And this is LaShawn again with the Notary Institution. And I also forgot to include that when printing, you also need to make sure that it is a double tray printer. So with the double tray printer, because normally with the loan signings, that you will have to be able to print legal and letter size documents, and you will have to be able to do that simultaneously. So if you have a dual tray printer, you'll be able to set your trays to where, so you can have your legal in one and your letter size paper in the other, and it will make it 100% easier instead of I never even had. I'm pretty sure you can do it with a single tray, but you will have to sit there and stand there at the computer and change out the papers whenever it's a different size, and that's way too much time, and you're working harder than what you need to be. So make sure also it's a dual tray printer when you're purchasing your items. And that is all. That was the last thing I wanted to say. Y'all have a great day. Bye.